Hey, it's Gary and Julian. We're off to the Bahamas. All right, so I want to share with you what we're going to be doing on this really long, crazy trip. It's Gary Coxe, business and life strategist, and what I do is I help companies grow extensively, and I also do a lot of work with authors, speakers, coaches, and consultants, help them do literally 1 year's worth of income or salary into one event or one day. So what we also do is we have a jet that we fly that we take clients to the Bahamas for a coaching adventure. But unfortunately, the owner, we were leasing that jet, the owner is selling the jet, so we had to release that lease, and now we're going to the Bahamas. We're going to also come back and look at another jet. And because we both believe in SOI, what's SOI? Speed of implementation. So Julian is not qualified for the right seat of this jet. The jet that we had before was a single pilot, so I could fly by myself. So now what we're going to do is in the next, I don't know, what, 6 weeks or so, he's knocking out all of his ratings so he can qualify, and I'll be instructing him along the way to get in the right seat. So here's what we're doing today. We're heading to the Bahamas. We're doing his, what is it, 300 miles?
300 miles.
300 miles. 300 miles cross country. They're doing 200 miles for IFR. So we're doing like it's going to be like an 8 to 9 hour day, not of all flying, but a large part of that will be of flying. So let's go over a couple things that we need to do for this long cross country flight. First place we're going to is Ocala.
Ocala.
We're going to Ocala. All right. Then after Ocala, we're doing some approaches there. Then after Ocala, we go where?
PMP, which is
right Pompano. So then we're going to go to Pompano.
Yep.
All right. Then now what we have to do is we have to make sure we have passports. So what I do is I'm training him, telling him, look, just ask me, okay, if I have a passport, but you want to see it. You want to physically see it. Because I remember years ago, I'm taking off to the Bahamas with an airplane full of my friends, and I go to somebody in the back, hey, do you have your passport? And take us what I had to do. I had to fly the airplane all the way back and land, get their passport. And I remembered, I forgot mine too. Crap, mine was also in the car. So we got the passports. Then you have to do the AAPAS. You have to let AAPAS Customs know, right, when you're leaving, what airport you're departing from the United States. Now, we're going to Ocala, then Pompano, so the AAPAS starts from Pompano, not Ocala, the last airport in the United States. Then we're going to go get some conch salad in the Bahamas. Then we're going to go to Fort Lauderdale on the way back, right? Fort Lauderdale International. So we have to have another AAPAS to come in. Remember, AAPAS, they want you in within an hour. So we're also going to call them. We're going to call that right now. Let's go ahead. We're going to make that phone call right now. I'll get you that number. So in just a moment, we'll make the phone call. And let's see what else. I think that's about it. Then we'll do all the approaches. So come hang with us. Come have conch salad with us in the Bahamas. So let's now make the phone call to Customs. So I'm going to get him that phone number. All right, so Julian is going to call Customs. So here's what you're going to do. When you call them, you basically just, you know, they take these calls and hear them all the time, right? So you're going to call them. You're going to say your tail number right away. Say it slow. Just say, this is November, blah, 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 blah. I'd like to report an arrival. Yep. We did file the AAPAS, right? Yep. Typically, they want the AAPAS file first, then you call them. So then he's going to call them. Then once he says the tail number nice and slow and pauses, they're going to ask a couple questions. How many souls? And all of them U.S. citizens, and the proposed arrival time. And then you're going to get the initial. Usually they give you the initials of the Customs, the person that's calling, so you have proof that you call somebody. Note those initials down and make sure it's on your phone at the time you call. The last time I went through Customs, they said, oh, we have no idea that you called. And I said, well, do you have somebody with initials so-and-so? And they go, yeah, well, what are the chances that I would make up somebody's initials that work right with the guy at Customs? So anyway, they can be a pain sometimes. All right, let's roll.
All right.
Custom Border Protection, I'm going to help you.
Hello, tail number November 6 form for notice of arrival.
Coming in at 17:15 with 2 people on board?
Correct, yeah.
All right, Taylor, is your confirmation for that arrival at 17:15?
And we also wanted to confirm this is Fort Lauderdale International, correct?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
No problem. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
All right, so Taylor's the confirmation. Notice I confirmed that I'm calling the right airport. You just don't know. When it comes to Customs, I mean, if I've gone down to the Bahamas once, I've done it, like, I'm not kidding, 400 or 500 times, right? So these are things that I'm sharing with you that I have learned from many, 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 many times of doing this, and some of the mistakes that I've made and so forth. All right, so other than that, we're ready to go. Let's light this baby up, and we're off to the Bahamas.
Clear prop.
Off we go. So we're now departing out of Central Florida, that's Lakeland, Florida. And on our way to Ocala, and I'm going to show you a very famous movie star's house. Can you guess who it might be? That is John Travolta's place. See the tail of the airplane sticking up on the right side there? So he lives in the Ocala area. Great airport. I really kind of always had a goal to live there, but we'll work on that later. Horse country. Look at the horse tracks that are all over this place, like huge, 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 all over. All right, so now we're going to be coming in for our first approach into runway 18 Ocala. This is just a touch and go. We're off and back down to South Florida to go to the Bahamas. But if you'll notice, as gorgeous as this weather is, we started getting locked in. So we had to do like a 180, start spiraling, coming down, spiraling like in control spiraling. And then we had to come into Kissimmee to get some fuel. So the weather got a little cray-cray. So we are now in Kissimmee. This is going to be a long, well, I mean, this is going to be a long day, that's for sure. So we don't really have to sit it down. We just had to vector so much, and that just to be safe, we're going to add some more fuel. So we've added some more fuel. So now from Kissimmee, we're on the way to Pompano, and then from Pompano to get our conch salad in Bimini, and then from Bimini, we'll head back to Fort Lauderdale, and then we're going to head to another airport in Miami, and finally back home. Alrighty, we are now in Pompano Beach getting some more fuel. We just want to keep it good on fuel. We're now getting ready to head over the ocean. What a nice flight on the way in here, right? So we have been like dodging storms and going up and down and all over the place. We got to do what's known, if you don't know, as an RNAV approach. That's one of the reasons that we're out here doing approaches. So we did an RNAV into Pompano Beach. In fact, right over there, if you can see, that's where the Goodyear blimp. You can barely see where it says maybe Goodyear. Can you see that? That's where the Goodyear blimp hangs out. That's the other rating I still need to get. Okay, so now we're off to the Bahamas. Let's go. Number 4 in line, and then off to blue skies and blue oceans. And blue skies and blue oceans it is. Man, that's beautiful. So it's only about a 35-40 minute flight in this airplane. Flew over a cruise ship. I've never been on a cruise ship, but wow. They've got their own water park and everything on there. That was kind of cool. So we're only flying over at about, up there is Bimini, about maybe 2,000 feet or so. And there's the runway there. And we're coming in for landing. What's so nice when you come in low like that, obviously to prepare for landing, you get some beautiful, beautiful sights. This is, I mean, this is what life's about right here. This is so cool. So once we landed, there's the airport. They're doing a lot of construction there, so that's nice. They're planning some big things. We jump on a ferry, because the airport's actually on an island. And then this ferry ride is no more than about 5 minutes. Then after the ferry ride, we jump into the taxi, and we whiz through town. And here is where we're going to get our amazing island food. There's the conch. You just sit out there and hang while they prepare the conch for you, and then check the stingray out, and this huge fish, just really, really awesome. There was a big tarpon in there and some stingray, so they just feed off the conch. And short-lived visit back to the United States, coming down at sunset, and then we have to clear customs, which worked out pretty well. They were pretty cool. Back for the takeoff out of Fort Lauderdale. So right now we're coming close to about 8 hours of flying. Check this out. That's a transformer. The 2 square city blocks underneath that. I've never seen this before. I've seen transformers go up before like this, but then the whole 2 city blocks just boom, went out. No electricity whatsoever. It just blew up. And then like 10 seconds later it came back. That was really, really cool. So here we are on our final leg, heading home It's been a long but fun, adventurous day.